Hello, I'm Christy, and this is MamieGraceDesigns. Today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my knitting circles that I've started. I call it Knitting 101. It's kind of how I put the information out there for it. Being a teacher, it just kind of naturally flows for me to share my love of knitting with others who want to learn. I think I'm a pretty patient teacher, and I have a variety of skill levels. Some people have knitted in the past and then just dropped it for whatever reason and have come back. Some had started a few months back, but they were knitting on their own. That was a coincidence of a tennis teammate of mine. And others, well, I did a little interview with a few of them, and you'll get to hear what their reasons were for starting. But I was lonely in my knitting. None of my close friends knitted, and like I just attended my first yarn festival and I went alone. I would love to have girlfriends to do that with. Now, I met some lovely ladies and I had a great time, but I just want to grow my local knitting circle. That's really been my driving force. So I put the call out, and I've got 4 or 5 ladies in two circles now. So I'm meeting twice a week with new knitters and helping them learn and grow. And I just took a little video of what that looks like. I put the call out on social media. I actually did call my local library just to see if we could meet there and maybe open it to general public. But I've had enough interest where I haven't really felt like I need to do that. Maybe in the future I'll do it. I don't know. That's an option. Our library does they have a really great room that we've used for other meeting purposes in the past. They have a really great room that you can use if it is open to the public, and it doesn't cost anything, which I'm not charging anybody anything for this. This is, you buy your own knitting supplies and come on. So I was today's video is really all about that. I did want to share I'm wearing my campus vest by Amy Shure. I pulled up my notes, and looks like I used the Harrisville Delights that Amy Shure sells, and ordered my yarn from her. And it does have it's a neutral, but it's got some lavender flecks or bits a little bit in there. You can see it in person. You really can't see it on screen, I don't think. 250 yards for 100 grams. Is that DK? I think it's a DK. I actually added 2 inches of length to the cropped version. She has a cropped and a longer version. So I was 1 inch shy of her regular version. I think I would like to do the 1 inch longer on my next one. I also took 7 rows off of the V-neck, and I wish I had kept those. So I'll make those adjustments with my next one. It wasn't a huge deal. I like it. I wear this a lot. This is a bottom-up pattern, which I don't love a bottom-up pattern, but I do love this vest. I wear it all the time. This is with a t-shirt under it today. I substituted at school today, and it was the perfect temperature. It's a spring. As you can see, it's a beautiful spring day. I just had to film out here on the back patio because it's so nice out. I am currently working on my Andrea Gone High Falls pullover, which is looking like this. This is the Durum Natura Candide, and I don't have sleeves yet, but I did do my collar, and I'm getting close to finishing the body. I'm gonna work on this out here because it's just so lovely. And I think that's all I have to say. I just wanted to introduce my knitting circle groups. I'll share with you what I put on so I send out a flyer with, to anybody who wants to join the circle. I send out a flyer, and in my flyer, I talk about, how much I love knitting. I started knitting in 2016, and I say that the length of time you knit does not indicate how well you knit, because I've seen young ladies on Ravelry or YouTube that have only been knitting a year and they're already doing cardigans. I'm like, whoa, that's impressive. I was knitting for a long time. Actually, I have not knit a cardigan yet. I have one on the needles, but I have not finished it. And I was knitting quite a while before I got to my first sweater. So length of time does not indicate skill level. So there are people who've been knitting not very long who are probably way better than me. I introduced them to Ravelry because I wish that I had been on Ravelry from the get-go. You know, I've shared many sweaters here on my channel where I'm like, I can't tell you anything about it because I didn't write anything down. I didn't save any information on this. And that is a crying shame. It would be great to have seen, like I know I never swatched with my early sweaters. Just, it's so great to have a written record of everything that you've done. Okay, so I talk about that. I put my Ravelry channel on there so they can check out mine. And I've created in my favorites, I have created beginner-friendly patterns. I have saved beginner-friendly patterns so that my little newbies can go and look at those there. Then I tell them to pick out a pattern that they want to start with and to share it with me, and then to print out that pattern or picture or whatever, and we will meet at the yarn store, which is the local yarn store. I encourage them to shop local at our small local yarn shops who need all the support to survive. I tell them, let's meet there, we'll get everything you need to start. So I am teaching them about Ravelry, helping them get connected with our local yarn shop, giving them all the info they need to get going, and then I'm there to help them start. I answer questions. I've met several of them who will run over to my house and get extra help in between our regular knitting times, or I'll stop by their house, whatever, if it works. Or they'll call me. And so far, I think it's been a good process. I've been happy. I feel like they have been. I do also list great tutorial sites for them. When I first got started, Very Pink Knits was my go-to knitting guru. I learned so much from her. And, you know, she even has the slow motion videos, which if people have a hard time, that's a great way to learn. I also list my favorite channels that I follow. That's about it. So that has kind of been my format that I've done with Knitting 101. So now let me just share some footage of our time together and let you hear some thoughts from ladies. And you know, we talk about anything and everything, whatever comes up, whatever life is throwing at us. We're a support circle for one another, not just fellow knitters. We also, if things are hard, we're your therapy circle. It's good to have other women come around and support you in the good and the bad. So enjoy the rest of this.
So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And so Candy had to take all my markers off when she
urgent care, and she got tested for like strep and COVID. And
well, I mean, this is all I have to do out of all this.
Yay!
I've been working on since August. Look at that, August. And this is all, and then I can crochet.
Yay!
But I just answer. And so I had to go up
Shame
there.
on Christy.
No, it's okay. So I went up there, and what I don't know what you call it. She called it something. But I was knitting, like it was just continuous on my strings. And what I
So she
did
started
not,
knitting in the round.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what I didn't do, I was watching tennis, and I finished a row, and I didn't flip it. You know how you have to kind of flip it? And I didn't flip it, and when I started my next row, I was like, oh, why does this seem so tight? Like, this isn't right, but okay, maybe it's just me. And then
That's so pretty, Christy.
I knitted all the way, and it was just my string was completely connected.
So
It was
pretty.
weird.
my
Oh,
God, that's
Christy, that's so
amazing.
pretty.
So
I aspire to not grow, just it looks
knit,
kind of like mine. Knit
I have mistakes. I don't know if y'all can see them, but the very bottom row, somehow I started knitting backwards. So like that. I'm counting on the fact that she won't be able to tell.
There's no way.
Is that called lace?
I won't put that part in the video.
Is that called lace? What is this called?
I don't know if
even
it's
do
called
that.
lace or not.
Where's your mistake?
This whole bottom row, see how this,
It's
I-
raised
I had-
instead of behind.
I had flipped my pattern at some point.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's just beautiful.
So I brought it today because I'm starting on my crochet edging.
Perfect.
Since y'all were starting on crochet, I was gonna do it with you. You know, we could all start crochet together.
I'll pay attention.
Before, you got to help me figure out how to do these little dudes, remember?
Okay. Let's get your needle.
One of these.
Yeah.
You care which one? Smaller, bigger? Because I,
think
have
smaller.
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 It was
That bigger would be like
What'd you
bulky,
know?
would it?
to.
Oh, I meant like that
Cancun,
blue one you
South
have right there.
Cancun.
Yeah,
Or-
did y'all just take a little vacation or
We
was
went
it like
for a
fun?
wedding and then we stayed. So the wedding was
It's gonna be hidden
okay.
by the crochet trim.
Okay.
Yours is not like that. Yours will have to do correctly.
Okay.
Um,
I get to wing it.
and then I'm crocheting, but no one's ready for
Are
that.
you crocheting right now, Tracy?
No, I'm just getting rid of my little long tails.
Oh, yeah.
Weaving in the ends. So I've already blocked my baby blanket, just FYI. That's why it looks so even and
Perfect.
good, yeah.
Do I need to be doing that before I'm crocheting or does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
What does that mean? That's pretty.
You soak it in water,
Uh-huh.
and then you get these little special mats to dry it on,
Oh, I gotta be one then.
and you stretch it out. Like I pin it.
And shape it like it's supposed to
Shape.
be.
Tell me why you wanted to learn to knit.
I wanted to knit because I want to make a baby blanket for my grand.
yeah, that's a good reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
And whatever. Oh, and a beanie.
And a beanie.
Yeah.
Trudy got a pattern for a hat. Maybe we could all make a hat together.
Yay.
I want to do
And gloves, fingerless gloves.
Why did you want to learn to knit, Debbie?
for the 2 babies about to be born. And because you've knit all the baby blankets in my family so far. And I thought maybe I should knit my baby.
Okay.
Although they still want you to make them blankets.
I know, that's so funny. Luke wants one. I was really surprised.
Yeah.
Didn't think he'd really
know.
care, but he does.
He's in the middle.
He's cute. He's a cutie. Okay, Patty, why did you want to learn to knit? Because you already know how to crochet.
Yeah, I've been a lifelong crocheter, and I've always wanted to learn how to knit, just for something different to be able to do.
Okay. Now you be multi-talented, multi-craftual.
Well, let's see, between the crocheting, now the knitting, my Cricut machine, I've also just bought my first screen printing kit.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, I'm
you got it all going on. Yeah, you're not.
Retirement for me is not boredom.
That's good. All right, Trudy, why do you want to learn to knit?
Because 6.5 years ago, I started this, and it was only like that big. And I wanted to remember how my dear friend Susan taught me how to do this, and she's in New York, so I needed hands-on because that's kind of the learner I am.
Uh-huh.
And this, God bless Christy, because she showed me how to do it and finish it. So now I'm trying to do a second one so I can get this in my brain.
I love it.
And then I've got all kinds of cool projects to do.
You mentioned because you are a caretaker for your mom.
I am a caretaker for my mom. I needed some stress relief, which, believe it or not, this is stress relief.
Very much so.
And I feel like I'm accomplishing something, but also my grandmother, way years ago, she would crochet and knit so many things, and I have so many cool things that she had built me that I still own. And so honestly, I felt like this would be cool if I could learn how to do things that I could actually gift to my children and or probably my grandchildren that maybe when I'm dead and gone, they'll say, look,
And
Mimi
remember
Treasure
you.
made that.
That's
you know?
right. That's right.
And as a caregiver myself for my husband, something that Trudy and I mentioned last week was that while we're doing this, our mind is on this. It's not on all those stresses and drama that comes along with having to be a caregiver for someone with dementia.
Mm-hmm. Good. Love it. This is my Oh By The Way segment. Oh, by the way, I wanted to tell you about something that I love. Stowe maple syrup. Several years ago, and I talked about this trip in a different episode, I took a girls' trip to Vermont. We drove all around Vermont. It was during COVID. And looked at the gorgeous leaves. It was fall. And one of the places we stopped was Stowe, Vermont. And this little bitty shack on the side of the road, there was not much to it at all, was this family business. And I bought some Vermont fancy syrup, maple syrup. They have 3 different grades of syrup, and I can't remember what they are. Fancy is one of them. Fancy is the lightest, and the color of the syrup indicates the rating. And it simply means the fancy is like the first harvest. And I think they harvest twice a year maybe. And the earlier is lighter in color, and the later the harvest gets, the darker the syrup gets. And that's how they determine the name of it. But honestly, I tasted all of them and they all tasted great. I really didn't care, but I just went with fancy for whatever reason. And I love it. I order it all the time. I've been ordering it ever since then. I get these nice little pint containers. I usually order 6 at a time. And when I'm on my last one, which I am on my last one, I do a reorder. And I just wanted to share this because it is the best. And it is less expensive than purchasing maple syrup at my grocery store. So I'm supporting a local business, small business in Stowe, Vermont, and I actually still saving money. So how about that for a win-win? I am also sporting my new necklace by Meg Made It today. Love my Meg Made It necklaces. I'm going to end this episode with a little peaceful knitting out on the patio, followed by, you'll see me watching one of my favorite YouTubers as I knit along and listen to her share all her exciting stuff. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you have a great week.
Hello, welcome to my channel, Edible Thoughts Mix. My name is Stephanie, and this is episode 142. I am coming to you from a bright and beautiful spring day here in Minnesota, where I live with my husband and